All right, welcome back to Pro Enzo Vidz, and this is the podcast episode 8. So this is episode 8 of the podcast. So I'm joined by a special guest, Nick from Australia, as we all know, another NRL YouTuber, and I've got another up-and-coming YouTuber in the Rugby League Bandwagoner. So I'll ask you first, Nick, how are you going this afternoon? And thanks for joining the podcast yet again.
Oh, mate, I'm going fantastic. Can't complain on this beautiful Monday afternoon. 5:30 p.m. It's been a great day today. It's an honor to be on the show, bro.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks for coming on for the second time because you're the first guest who ever came on the podcast anyway. So that's good to know you're back here again. So thanks for that. And the Rugby League Bandwagon, he's also been here before as well. So how's it going, Nathan?
Oh, I'm going fantastic. It's, as what Nick said, it's an honor to be here. I'm very glad that you invited me over, and I'm very thankful that you invited me over. And let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's go. Grand final episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good. It's going to be a good episode. I'm telling you right now, it will be good. And I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat before we do start. But yeah, as we know, we start the podcast by going through our teams of the week for each round of footy. So obviously we had the preliminary finals this week, and obviously, it might have been a little bit difficult for some people to pick their sides because obviously limited games and that. So, but anyway, I'll ask you first, Nathan. What's your team of the week for the preliminary finals? Like, what was your team of the week?
I actually forgot to do one. Shit. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I'm slacking. Oh, I'll ask Nick first, and I'll come ask Nick first, and then I'll come back and.
All right, Nick, you go. What's your team of the week, mate?
What did he say? I didn't hear a word what Nathan said, to be honest.
He said, I'll have to ask you first before he gets his team.
All right, I'll do my team of the week first to begin with. No problem whatsoever. The Nick from Australia preliminary final team of the week. Fullback, Dylan Edwards. On the wings, Alex Johnson and Brian To'o. In the centres, Paul Momorowski and Campbell Graham. 5'8", Cody Walker. Halfback, Adam Reynolds. The front row of Tom Burgess and Tavita Totola. The hooker is Damien Cook. The second row is Hamoli Olakawatu, Kurt Capewell. The lock is Cameron Murray. And on the bench, Jerome Hughes, Keon Kalamatangi, Nelson Asafa Solomona, and Viliami Kikau. My player of the round is Cody Walker.
No, that's a great side, actually. I wouldn't change much about that team. That's a really good team. But yeah, going through mine quickly. This is my team of the week for this round. So at fullback, I got Blake Taff. I thought he had a really good game against my Sea Eagles. The wingers, it's a bit of an interesting selection. I mean, there was Alex Johnson and that, but I've got Stephen Crichton on one wing, and then the other winger, I've got Jackson Paulo. I think them two are very good this round. In the centres, I've got Dane Gagai and Campbell Graham. In the halves, I've got Cody Walker and Nathan Cleary. And my props, Mark Nichols and Tavita Pangai Jr. And in the back rows, I've got Hamoli Olakawatu. I agree with Nick. I think he had a good round in a losing side. And the other back row being Kurt Capewell, lock Cameron Murray. And off the bench, I've got Dylan Walker, Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, and Tavita Totola. So that's my preliminary finals team of the week right there. Before we move on, Nathan, have you come up with your team yet?
Somewhat vaguely, but I'm going into this pretty a bit of winged here. For fullback, I've got Blake Taff as my fullback for this round. For the wingers, I have both Alex Johnston and Brian To'o, the same as Nick. In the centres, I have Stephen Crichton and... Not Stephen Crichton. Fuck. See, I'm going to this winged. Matt Burton and Campbell Graham. Your halves, Cody Walker and Adam Reynolds. Can't really change anything there. For your prop... see, I'm going to this wing. Fuck.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Moving on. Sorry, lads. Fuck.
No, it's all right. We'll just move on. But no, that's a good selection of players. I think many of those players will definitely feature in many other people's teams of the week. But yeah, let's just rip into the topics. I think we're got some really good ones to talk about. Some very big ones actually as well. And yeah, this will be very good. I think so. To start off with, what's our thoughts on the week of footy we just saw in the preliminary finals? Like, do you think did we think the round of footy was good? Did you think both games were good quality? Did you like what did you like and dislike about the rounds, like about the two games this round and that? So, Nick, I'll ask you first. What's your thoughts on the round that we saw in the preliminary finals? Like, what was your thoughts of both games?
Manly versus South for mine was probably the most disappointing game. I was going into it thinking it'd be the most high-scoring game of the round. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Manly were a bit off their game. They didn't really show up on the night, unfortunately for them, and they kept trying to score a try on tackle 1, tackle 2. They weren't being patient whatsoever. I thought Souths were very dominant and they did not give Manly a chance at all. The other game, Melbourne versus Penrith, I think that was the best game of the round. There were a lot of errors, but you are going to get that in these big games. You are going to get a lot of errors in these low-scoring sort of games. So, look, I think overall the quality was very good. I think it would have been perfect if Manly South had been a good game. Unfortunately, it just wasn't a good game at all. But really enjoyed Melbourne versus Penrith over the weekend, and I think that was probably the best game of the round. And I think South versus Manly was a little bit disappointing, but overall, I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, I think everyone was expecting more of an entertaining, close sort of game of Manly and South, especially. I think everyone was expecting Manly to actually turn up on a big day, like, a game where you can qualify for a grand final, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Manly didn't turn up and play their best footy, as we know they can. So that was disappointing, I guess. But Nathan, Rugby League Bandwagoner, what's your thoughts on the round of footy we just saw last week?
I thought it was great. I thought it was pretty good. The South Manly game, as Nick said, the South just played incredible. They were just so dominant for the whole game, and that Cody Walker was exceptional. But the biggest credit for me was just Wayne Bennett. He's the master coach for a reason. Absolutely incredible to get his team to another grand final, the second grand final in 50 years. So very interesting. As for Melbourne and Penrith, what can I say? What can I say about that? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I was celebrating. I may have celebrated a little too hard that night, but I was celebrating so much to see Melbourne finally out. Penrith had an absolute blinder of a game. They have proven why their defense is the best in the competition. They've proven why their defense is the best. And this is going to be this grand final coming up right now, in Sunday, sorry. I can't wait. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped for it.
Yeah, no, I agree, actually. No, I think both games this round were, Manly South wasn't that good. I might be saying that because I'm a Manly supporter, we lost, but just in terms of quality, and how it kind of went, it was all one-way traffic, I think South were pretty much won the game when it was 22-0. I thought at half-time when it was 22-0 in favour of South. So I just thought that was when, they'd already won the game. They wrapped it up, unfortunately. And I couldn't really see Manly come back from that because I think we lost the game in the first half. But, but with the other game, Panthers and Melbourne, that was the way better game because I thought that was definitely a finals-type game. Panthers' defence, like Nathan mentioned, their defence was, perfect. They showed why they are one of the best defensive teams in the comp because they held up Melbourne for so long, which isn't always easy to do. And I think Melbourne have really choked yet again. And speaking of choking, it's the next topic we're going to talk about as well, about the Melbourne Storm. So topic number 2, it is about, was the Melbourne Storm of 2021. So was the Melbourne Storm of 2021 the biggest choke ever seen? Because compared to other years, like from the Storm, like they've choked before in 2006, 2007, 11, 2014, 2015. And, there's always been those years where the Storm have choked, many times. But do you think the 2021 Melbourne Storm is the biggest choke out of all those other years in that? Nick, what's your thoughts? Do you agree or disagree?
They definitely choked very hard on Saturday afternoon. but I don't think it's their biggest choke ever. I still think 2011 is up there with one of their biggest chokes. 2013 as well, because 2012 Melbourne won the grand final, and in the 2013 final series they made the top 4. They went out in straight sets. They lost to Souths and Newcastle back-to-back weeks. So that's up there as well. I know 2014, 2015 were pretty bad. I think 2021 will go down as one of their biggest chokes, probably in their top 3. But I still think 2011, 2006, and 2013 probably go up there as well. There's a lot. They have choked a lot, but I don't think it's their biggest choke ever. But it's definitely up there now.
Yeah, I agree, actually. The Rugby League Bandwagoner, would you say that Melbourne Storm in 2021 was the biggest choke compared to other years they've had when they're choked?
I think personally it's probably the second biggest one they've got. I'll always remember the 2011 one where they choked, and that one was always that was probably the most shocking one for me, considering the Warriors were 7th. I think in that year, I think that was 7th or 6th, but this year, just they were going in, all guns blazing, 19 in a row, and them to just not make the grand final. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But yeah, I'd definitely say it's a massive choke. But I've always had the 2011 one as my top choke.
No, fair enough. For me, well, you see, back in 2011, I was about only 6 or 5 years old, so I wouldn't really remember that choke against the Warriors. I mean, I've seen the game highlights, and yeah, it was unbelievable the year they've had, and they choked in the last second. But I think 2021 is definitely one of the biggest chokes for the Melbourne Storm ever, and maybe one of the biggest chokes in general that I've ever seen in the comp. I think there's heaps of them. Like, there's been heaps of chokes before with other NRL teams, but I think the Melbourne Storm of the 2021 season is one of the biggest ones, because how can you go and win 19 games in a row and not make the grand final? It's a bit ridiculous, would you say? And they've had 21 wins all season and 3 losses. I mean, that's the best record out of every other team this year, I'm pretty sure. And it's just, I just think it's a huge choke for the club. And honestly, I think if I was, I think Melbourne would be really disappointed with that. Choking in the last second. But a good for rugby league history, he made a video actually about the Melbourne Storm's how Melbourne Storm not guaranteed to make the grand final and how they have a history of choking. He addressed all that, and he was right. He was on the money with his video, and he definitely made a fair, strong point about Storm's history of choking, and this season definitely goes as one of the biggest ones I've ever seen personally. But we'll see how they go next year, I guess. But getting to the third topic now. Now this one is one where it kind of got me a bit pissed off, because I think these players that I'm about to mention right now should have been considered in the Daily M Team of the Year, because obviously today the NRL have released out of each position of what players are contenders for making the Team of the Year, and it's a bit ridiculous because Nicho Hynes, right? He wasn't even considered a fullback of the year for some reason, and he's been the better fullback than Ryan Pappenhausen all year. That's the thing. And same with Angus Crichton. He's been one of the best back rows of the 2021 season, and he gets no mentions. So I think it's a bit ridiculous. And I don't know what you think about this, Nick, but I certainly think it's a bit ridiculous that these sort of players have not got any nominee for making the Team of the Year. It's stupid.
So who's the nominees for fullback of the year? Well, you got Turbo, Teddy, Ponga. Who else is in the Will Kennedy? And who's the other one?
I think it's I think it was not Latrell. Anyway, but
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the
anyway.
list, but if Nicho Hynes is not in that top 5 for nominee for fullback of the year, that's just ridiculous.
It was Pappenhausen.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
who?
It was Ryan Pappenhausen.
What?
He got nominated. Pappenhausen got
Yeah.
nominated.
How many games has he played?
Ridiculous.
How many games has he played this year? What?
About
Look.
15, not 15.
Yeah,
That's
he was the
stupid.
fifth one. Pappenhausen.
Oh, that's just fucking bullshit. Nico Hines should be fullback.
Exactly,
That's
Nico
a fucking
Hines.
disgrace. That's a fucking disgrace, to
Oh,
be
yeah,
honest.
it is.
You know,
I mean,
think
Nico
No, mate,
Hines.
15 appearances.
You know, I think Kalen Ponga is another one that would go very close. You know, I think that's ridiculous. Pappenhausen over Nico Hines and Kalen Ponga, that's ridiculous. I don't
The
like it
system
at
needs
all.
to be, the system needs to be blown up. I think the system's really cooked, and it needs to be refurbished. It needs to be really fixed up. I think the whole thing of the Daily M's and that. Now, Rugby League Bandwagoner, do you think it's ridiculous that those particular players, in Angus Crichton and Nico Hines, weren't even considered for making the 2021 Team of the Year?
The fact that Angus Crichton wasn't even listed is baffling. Absolutely baffling. Same with Nico Hines. I'm just looking at right here. Pappenhausen's only made 15 games. 15 games this season. You look how many games Nico Hines has played this year. He's played 24.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Which one do you reckon you're going to pick? Hines or I know which one I'm going to pick. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, it's not right, is it? And my thoughts on it now. Picking Ryan Pappenhausen in general. I mean, Ryan Pappenhausen's a fantastic player. We all get that, but when you think about it, it's Nico Hines who's basically really been that big part of the Melbourne Storm this year of taking them to the minor premiership and making them successful this year. I think Nico Hines has been a big part of it all, and for him not to be listed in that top 5 category or something for being the fullback of the year, it's it's stupid, because I don't know how the whole system works, but like I said before, it's cooked and it needs to be blown up. I think it's ridiculous how it's how it's gone like that. So I feel bad for Nico Hines not even being considered in the first place. With Angus Crichton not even being as a joke as well. Like, where's his name in all this? Like, he's been great for the Roosters this year. I know Roosters have had a really injury-rattled sort of season, but he's been one of the better players in that team, and he's always turning up every week. He gives 100%. So disrespectful by the NRL or whoever those brains judges are who vote for everything for this Daily M Team of the Year shit. It's ridiculous, and I think it's needs to be fixed up next year for sure, because this is just not how it should be going. But anyway, apart from all that controversy, we're going to have to go into more, unfortunately. And there was breaking news, I think it was yesterday, where we heard some breaking news in the morning. And now this is a very touchy subject. I know it's not good, but it needs to be discussed, I think, because I think this is a very serious situation. So Reece Walsh, as we know, the young Warriors fullback, apparently yesterday, from what I heard, he was at some sort of party, I think in the Gold Coast or the Surfers Paradise or something, and apparently he was charged with cocaine possession, and obviously he got arrested by police, and I'm pretty sure he failed to listen to police. I think he refused to listen to the cops and obviously go with them to do some investigating. So I think he's in a lot of trouble right there, a lot of hot water, Reece Walsh. So before I get into my thoughts on it all, because I've got a few things to say about it, I'll ask the Rugby League Bandwagoner for his quick thoughts on Reece Walsh and this cocaine stuff, how he's allegedly been found for it. What do you think about it?
He should be criminally charged. He should also be criminally charged as well, because again, cocaine, that's banned in Australia. That's an illegal substance over here. So where's the criminal charge? Where's all that? He should be 1 year ban. If you've got like Bronson Xerri and Michael Jennings out, currently sitting out, where's the same punishment for Reece Walsh?
Exactly. How long do you think he'll miss, do you reckon? I'll obviously share my thoughts on how long he should miss after, but how long approximately of games or weeks should he miss, do you think?
Oh God, this is touchy, but either between 15 to 20 weeks or the whole season.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I have to actually agree with that. Nick, I know you're not happy with it. And what's your thoughts on it?
Do you really want my thoughts on it?
Yeah, I do. I think you all do.
All right. Reece Walsh is a very, very stupid boy. He has made one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. You got to remember, Reece Walsh is a young kid. How old is he? 19, 20? He's only young. And he's already a dad. And he's taking drugs at a fucking party at Surface Paradise, hanging out with Toby Rudolph and Kevin Proctor. They should go and drug test Toby Rudolph and Kevin Proctor as well, just in case. And I think what's happened with Reece Walsh is absolutely disgraceful what he's done. And I'm very fucking disappointed because last year this shit happened with Brent Naden and it happened with Bronson Sherry the other year before that. And it seems that every year some player wants to go out and take drugs or take cocaine. Listen, you got to remember, these NRL players, they're role models for these fucking young fans out there, these young kids. People buy their fucking jerseys with number 1 on the back, Reece Walsh. These people, these kids, these fans, these people, they go to the game to see this kid play. And for him to go out there on Saturday night and have some cocaine at a party in Service Paradise, get caught by the police and get arrested, it's his own fault. I have absolutely no sympathy for him. The only thing I will say that is in a positive thing for Reece Walsh is he came out, he did not hold up the mental health card. He took it on the chin. He owned up to it like a man. Fair play to the kid, but he has to cop the consequences now. Fine the son of a bitch $50,000, and you want to suspend him? Talking about how long? You know what? Suspend him for 20 weeks. I do not care. People are going to say, oh, that's too harsh. No, it's fucking not. Drugs are not acceptable in sport. It is completely not uncalled for. It's not needed, and it doesn't need to be involved. Drugs is unacceptable in any aspect of it. No excuses. So give him a $50,000 fine, suspend the son of a bitch for 20 weeks, and make him pay. And make sure his bank account, it'll hurt his bank account, and I hope it does, because what he's done, he has he's let the game down, he's let himself down, and he's let down the Queensland government, because the Queensland government have allowed the NRL to go ahead this year in Queensland. Just because the Warriors are playing finals doesn't mean a player like him can go out there and break the rules and try and ruin it for everyone else. So I have no sympathy for Reece Walsh whatsoever, and I hope the consequences absolutely hurt him.
No, well said. Well said. No, I agree with both your points, actually. I mean, cocaine's a really serious thing. It's banned in Australia, like, Bandwagoner said before. And yeah, look, Reece Walsh, I mean, he's a father. He's a role model as a player for many other people who watch up and look up to him. And for him to, I guess, do that sort of stuff, it's really unacceptable, really. It puts a bad image on him.
Can we just time out for a minute? I want to reply to Warriors NRL Fanatics in the chat. He said, disagree. He didn't kill someone or abuse. Fine, yes, but not 20 weeks suspension. Look, here's the thing. Drugs can kill. It is completely uncalled for. There's no excuse for it. And the only way that they're going to learn from this is you have to give them a big fine and a big suspension. That's the only way they're going to learn. If you give Reece Walsh 4-week suspension and a $30,000 fine, that he's not going to learn from that. The punishment needs to be big. It needs to be severe. There's absolutely no excuse for it. It's uncalled for. He's a role model to a lot of young players, young kids out there, fans. People go to the game to watch him play. So there's no excuses for that. Give him a $50,000 fine. Give him 14 to 20 weeks. Pick your number between that. If it gets less than 10 weeks, it makes no sense.
Yeah, look, 4 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever it could be, that's just too soft in my opinion. And even like a fine as well, that's it. That's even softer. And I think he needs to cop something heavily. I think because I think that's the only way he's going to learn. If he cops a heavy fine and misses most of the 2022 NRL season, I feel like. And yeah, look, I think before I get into my thoughts on it, I think he should miss about approximately 15 weeks or something, 15 and 20 weeks. I think that's fair. I think that's the only way he's going to learn from it, missing that many weeks, because obviously, he's already ruined his 2022 season by doing a stupid mistake at a party. So yeah, I think that's fair, a 15 to 20 week suspension. But look, honestly, I know he's young. I know he's just partying, he's having fun, but honestly, you got to stay away from drugs, because I think drugs is a terrible thing. It's disgusting how he's even gone. It's disgusting how he's even gone knee, that sort of stuff. And I saw on Instagram as well, I think we all saw it. He was singing, basically it was a video of him at the party of Toby Rudolph, and you could see that Reece Walsh didn't look all there. He looked, really what's the word? He didn't look like he was 100%. Yeah, he didn't look good. He didn't look good. He did not look good. So yeah, look, I think Reece Walsh has to learn from this, and I think he will. I think he will learn from this. I think he will definitely learn a lot of lessons from this. But still, he's definitely put a bad name on himself. He's put a bad name on the game. And I think a lot of people who look up to him and are big fans of him will be really disappointed. So yeah, it's he's a very silly person, Reece Walsh, and I hope he learns from him. I think he will, but honestly, he's just he's just an idiot in that case. But yeah, so we've got about 4 minutes to go. So obviously in this 4 minutes, we end off the podcast. We're going through our number of the week. So it's all a joke, really. It's a joke. It's nothing too serious, but it's more about, you what's the word? You go and talk about someone's comment that you disagree with or something, or you want to call out someone that has been giving shit the last couple of weeks or days or whatever. So it's just a chance for you to call out that person or disagree with what someone said. It's just a bit of fun at the same time. So I'd like to ask you, Nick, who's your number of the week for this week?
There's plenty of clowns out there that have been giving me a lot of shit lately. A lot of them. But I'm going to call the numpty of the week, and I'm going to give it to my numpty of the week is going to go to a guy that decided to call me out on Instagram last night. I saw it this morning. I heard all about it. My numpty of the week is going to go to that dead shit Patrick Nand. Now, I saw Patrick Nand was here before on the live chat. So basically what happened was, I'll go through the story very quickly. I don't want to leave it for too long. So pretty much what happened was, he used to be on our group chat on Instagram, the Rugby League Coffee Lounge. He was never really active on the chat. He reckons he was active. I call bullshit on that. You can ask anyone in the chat. He was barely active. Would never join the calls. Would never join the message. Never reply to anything. Just leave us on red. And at the time, I was feuding with Jacob Glegg and a couple other people out there that was giving me shit. And then after a while, he was just, we all got the suspicion that maybe he could be a bit of a spy. Who knows? So he was never active on there anyway, so we decided to kick him out. And then he blocked me on Instagram, whatever. It's all quiet for a long time. Quiet for about 6-9 months, I reckon. And then what happened was, after the Titans beat the Cowboys on this Sunday afternoon game, back in round 21 or whatever round it was, round 22, whatever, he went on to Twitter with some other Titans fan, and they were getting videos off my channel. They were clipping videos out, taking the piss out of me, have all these fat jokes about me and all that, and taking the piss out of me, saying, "Oh, I live in my own basement and all this." I do not. I live in my own house with my family. Thank you very much. So, he says, "Oh, go throw around some more toys and all this." I don't own a toy, so I don't know where he got that from. Anyway, so I sent him a private message on Twitter, and I said, "Mate, you're a fucking asshole. You can go get yourself fully fucked." So I was defending myself. I was getting picked on. And then he messaged me on Instagram the other week, and he goes, No. Don't you dare do that. I will not let you have the last say. And then I just went, honestly, mate, go and get yourself fully fucked. And then I said, go fuck your nan or something. And I blocked him. And then he called me out on Instagram on his stupid rugby league page on Instagram where he tried to call me out. So that's my response. And Patrick Nan, mate, if you have a problem with it, you know where to find me, mate. I'm on Instagram. You have a problem with me, hit me up on private message, mate. Don't try and make a big deal out of it, you fucking idiot. So Patrick Nan can go and get himself fully fucked for all I care. And also, Patrick Nan, when you did your video about me last night, when you were recording yourself, you look like you were in your own fucking basement, you fucking dickhead. And when you're looking at camera, look in the fucking camera like this. Look straight, you dickhead. Don't be like this. Oh, I'm just going to turn away for a minute. Yeah, Nick from Australia, he said this about me. Look in the fucking camera, mate. This is not fucking bullshit. Look in the camera and talk. Fuck me dead, mate. Anyway, fuck Patrick Nan. And honestly, I hope when he goes to the fucking supermarket tomorrow or whenever he goes to the shops next, I hope he has his bag of groceries. I hope he trips over a wet floor slide and loses all of his money and his food. Fuck the cunt. Rant's over. Numpty of the week, Patrick Nan.
All right, yeah, all right. Nathan, who's your numpty of the week, mate?
Mine? Okay, so
Yep.
this happened a couple of weeks ago. It's something that he never did to me. He did something to Nick, but what he chose to do fucking triggered me. So there's a guy by the name of, I think his name is Luke's NRL Vlogs.
Oh,
Luke's
no.
NRL him. Now, he decides to go and give Nick a hard time like every other fuckwit does. And he decides to pull the disability card. He decides to pull the autism card. Luke, I'm autistic. You don't see me looking like a fucking gobshite. You don't see me going off like a gobshite every time. You don't see... And you wonder why people with disabilities get a fucking bad name. Because of people like this.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say. I don't want to lose me fucking cool over it because I'm not that kind of guy. But fuck, it's just frustrating.
No, it's disgusting. Yeah. Look, Luke's just, I don't know. He's watches my channel and that. He's a loyal supporter, I guess you can say. But he needs to really cut the shit out because it's annoying for many people. But look, I'll just get through my numpty of the week. It's going to be a pretty simple one, and I'll just go with Reece Walsh, numpty of the week. I haven't really got anyone else to really call out this week, even though in the previous episodes I have, but not this week, unfortunately, maybe next week. But yeah, Reece Walsh, it's going to be my numpty of the week, actually. I just think, he's done a stupid mistake. He's just, I hate drugs. I really hate it. It's just disgusting, and Reece Walsh is a little little shit for taking drugs because it's fucked up, and he needs to really learn a hard lesson from this, and hopefully he does. But anyway,
Lorenzo,
it was a good episode.
Lorenzo, mate.
Yeah.
Patrick Nan's in the chat.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's a whole fight going on in the chat. But look, just everyone forget it. Just forget it. I'm sure we'll discuss it more if there's anything more further to it. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the podcast. That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you do subscribe to Nick from Australia, a fantastic rugby league content creator. Nick, how many subscribers do you have again on YouTube?
Well, I'll tell you the exact number, bro. Just give me 1 second. I'll just go onto my YouTube studio right here, my friend. I currently have 1,572 subscribers, my friend. The channel's going very, very well. If you guys haven't subscribed to me yet, make sure you go and subscribe. I guarantee you this, you will not be disappointed. And hit that subscribe button, lads.
Yeah, no, well said. And the Rugby League Bandwagoner, your channel is going up quite a bit as well. I know you just started recently, but you're getting a couple of subscribers and a bit of support lately. So I hope more people subscribe to you very soon, and hopefully your channel keeps growing in that. So and make sure I'll leave both Nick's YouTube channel and Nathan's Rugby League Bandwagoners YouTube channel links in the description down below. So make sure you go check those out once this live stream ends. But guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the podcast episode number 9 next week.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
Thank you for having me, lads.
Thanks, brother.
All right, and